Yo, what's going on, fam? Welcome to In the End podcast. I'm super excited that you all are here with me today. I got two guests again. If you watched episode 3, you already know the two guests.
There we go.
I got my boy Mike in the building with me
Yes,
again. Got my boy Dimitri in the building again, and we're back at the shop. You know, all of these pods got to take place for at least season 1 at the shop, because I mean it's iconic at this point.
Yeah.
What we've been able to do here is
Hold on. Shout out Brian Lynn, shop owner.
come on, shop owner.
Lending us this space, trusting me with the key for years now. So,
Absolutely.
Thank you,
We
bro.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Fam, I kind of wanted to talk. Last time we sort of dived into identity and gifting and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pivot almost into a completely different direction and sort of talk about pain and grief. I think pain is something that everybody struggle with. Whether or not you have negative $35 in the bank account or $35 million in the bank account. We've all had painful experiences. We all have had traumatic experiences. And I think that those things shape us.
Yeah.
Those things mold us into who we are, in a sense. But I feel like a lot of people get stuck in their pain.
Yep.
We find ourselves in places where we stay hurt.
Yep.
We stay broken. And I think that a big proponent of actually being healed from the pains of your past and the pains of your life is by actually grieving those things.
Yep.
I think that going through that grief process and actually allowing yourself to feel what you feel is huge. And so, dude, let's dive into it.
First of all, we're men, right? And it's notorious that men don't show emotion.
That stigma.
Men are tough and rough or whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Growing up in my household, of course, for some people, their household may be lovey-dovey, but I grew up in a household where it was kind of tough love or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't allow that to force tough love on other people. I think about that time. I think you told me some people allow a bad dealt hand to become a bad heart.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous because, a lot of people that tag on your life or God is sent to you, you may be scarring them when they were really sent to bless you.
Yeah.
So that can be a really big part of pain. But grief is the bigger part. Dealing with whatever it is, that can really be detrimental to your spirit, man. When you feed yourself certain things on a daily basis, music, whatever you read, whatever you hear, can really be a big part of what you grieve, how you grieve, and how you handle certain things. So you have to be careful of how you carry yourself while you're in that grief stage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. You can go ahead.
So I think for me, after, like we said in the last episode, I lost my father at 17. That right there kind of made me look at pain and turn it to purpose. Because I think the reason how I found my purpose was, I would kind of like edit videos, little cool videos, you know what I'm saying? But so when my father was diagnosed with a brain tumor, all my siblings, they came down. We was living in Greenville, Mississippi at the time. Everybody came down, all the grandkids that were born at the time, everybody was together. And just second nature would just have me just film different stuff. Not even nothing crazy, just like, oh, this would be a cool thing to capture, boom. And so I got a lot of my father last moments with myself, my siblings, my mom, you know what I'm saying? And so like a month later he passed, I realized a part of my grieving process was kind of like going back and putting all these clips together and that type of thing. So I kind of realized that I didn't realize what I was doing, but when I thought about it, my pain really navigated me to finding my purpose, which was a storytell, talk about my grief and not later bottle in, but also be able to express it artistically.
Absolutely.
And I think we can use pain however we want to use it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You can use it as fuel or you can use it to, use it as cement.
Yeah. I think that what we miss out is Genesis 32, Jacob wrestles with God.
Mm-hmm.
And scripture says that the angel touches Jacob's hip and it gets dislocated.
Yep.
But I was reading through the story, and nowhere in the text does Jacob leave this encounter with a healed hip. He only leaves with a changed name.
Sheesh.
God says, no longer will your name be called Jacob, for you will now be called Israel.
Yeah.
And I think that the misconception that Christians believe is that we can come into a relationship with God and all of our pain goes away. And it's like, no, Jacob is proof that you can come into a relationship and have an encounter with God, but you still leave with baggage and you still leave hurting because you have not properly grieved those things. And I think that if we don't understand that the pains of our past, number one, like you said, I think God uses pain. I want to be clear. I don't think that God causes pain. I think pain is a symptom of the fallen world that we live in.
Absolutely.
But I do think that God will use the pain. And so I think that God uses pain and turns it into purpose. But I also think that we can step into our purpose and still be handling and wrestling with these pains. And have to go through a process of grieving and letting go. And I think that's actually very important because I teach this sermon called "There's Something in the Water." It's based off of John chapter 9. Jesus heals this blind man, and the Bible says that Jesus spits in the mud, rubs it on the man's eyes, and he tells him to go and wash in the pool of Siloam. But the man doesn't get healed until he gets to the pool. So he has this encounter with Jesus. Jesus touches the man. He quite literally touches the man, and nothing happens. So imagine what this man felt. You hear all of these murmurings of this man named Jesus. Oh, this woman just touched him and she got healed. I know another blind man who got healed. Jesus had an encounter with him. He said the word and he got healed. The pool of Bethesda, Jesus told the lame man in John chapter 5 at the pool of Bethesda, he told him, pick up your mat and walk, and he got healed. But this is the Jesus y'all talking about. I've had an encounter with him. He physically touched me, and I still haven't got healed. So the man is walking to the pool in obedience. The hinge point of the sermon is based on Siloam. The word Siloam, it's the Greek transliteration of a Hebrew verb. Which is shalak, and shalak means to send out and to let go. So the man does not get healed until he gets to the pool of the sent out and the let go. And so sometimes we can have encounters with Jesus and still not leave healed until we have sent some stuff out and have let some stuff go. And I think that the key point that we have to understand about pain is that there's just a grieving process. There's a shedding process that we have to go through if we are actually going to be healed. Maybe that is therapy, especially in like Black families. Like therapy is almost like a no-no word. Therapy? You crazy? Are you crazy? Do you need someone just like? Go to church.
That's what old people. Oh my God!
You just need to hear a word.
Baby boomers love to just pray about it. Line. I'm like,
you can't counsel out what needs to be cast out.
That's the one,
brother. My dude.
I getting the wrong idea, man.
No, it's like sometimes that looks like sitting down with a therapist. Sometimes that looks like sitting down with a counselor. Sometimes that looks like allowing yourself to feel that emotion. And I want to sort of tackle what you were talking about, because I think especially as men, we get to a place to where we bottle up our emotions so much that when we finally explode, it's like, he snapped.
No point of return.
It's like we have to be able to healthily express our pain, our grief, what we're going through. Because the truth is we all experience pain. We all live in a painful world. But if we never let that stuff out, we will always be stuck dealing with this same pain. We will always be stuck with this limp.
It makes me I have certain students when it comes to drums. They get turned down for certain gigs, may not get certain calls, but I still let them know. First of all, it still happens to me till this day. Still happens to me. I'm 24, you may be 15, but I'm 24 now. And if you think 10 years later you ain't gonna be dealing with some of the same stuff, you are sadly mistaken. It's how you deal with these situations that determines your destination. You can easily take that pain, turn it into worse, and then make everything around you bad. You don't want to be that bad apple.
I think a lot of people do that though. They allow the pain to consume them. They have become so consumed by their pain that they have become numb.
Yeah.
So rather than allowing themselves to feel that and grieve it, they go, well, this is too painful. I don't want to go through this anymore. I'm going to completely shut down.
Yeah.
So now you don't feel anything.
Yeah, that's worse. That's actually worse than
because you harm yourself more. If I had surgery a couple months ago because I dislocated.
God,
I
bro,
dislocated.
Bro got hoop dreams, bro.
I was playing basketball. I dislocated my lunate bone in my wrist and fractured my elbow. And so when I went out of surgery,
he had a chicken wing.
I said, God, dog, what did you do? Yo, I came in here with my sling after my surgery. Bro, this man Mike was on my head.
Bro, you gotta tell them what happened though. I want to know.
Okay.
Give me the visual. Give me the replay.
So I'm playing basketball. My little cousin is like, how old is Keyshawn? 15.
You let a 15-year-old do you in?
No. Listen.
I would let a 15-year-old.
Listen. So we're playing pickup. Keyshawn is maybe 100 pounds lighter than me. Like the dude is 15, but he's short and like very skinny. So like we're playing basketball.
Yeah.
And he maybe comes up to underneath my shoulder. Like he's not that tall.
Yeah.
And so we're hooping. He's defending me. And I go with a crossover. He's over there weak.
He said,
my brother Jayon is laughing because
everything in his head.
he was there. And so I hit Keyshawn with this crossover. But he's like still holding on to me. And so rather than me going head first into the cement, because we play outside. Rather than me going head first into the cement, I put my arm out. And I thought maybe 5 minutes later, I'd be able to go back out there. Nah, fam. Had to go to the ER. They told me I need surgery the next day. So I was in the hospital back to back for like 2 days. Ended up having surgery. Then ended up needing another surgery for like a whole bunch. Bro, it was chaotic. But I'm healed now.
Just
hoop dreams, man.
Hoop dreams.
Yeah. Hey, that's like them.
That's gonna be the name of this pod.
That happens to like people, old uncles at cookouts that feel like they still got it. Like, hey, your nephew. Hey,
let me get a shot.
Shot right quick. You know nothing about this.
But I bring all of this up to say that once I was out of surgery, my doctor was very clear that I had to be watched because they did a nerve block. Yeah. So my entire right arm was completely numb. And so they were telling my mom, like, yo, you got to be careful because he can end up hurting this hand and not even know it.
Right.
And so the problem about being numb is that you can end up harming yourself and not even be aware of the fact that you're harming yourself because you have become so desensitized to everything around you.
Yep.
And I think that if you number one, you have to get to a place where you can feel it. Like that's vital.
Yeah.
Understanding what it's going to take for you to feel again. Being open to that spirit work, to that soul work that it's going to take. And also being open to the fact that you're going to have to let out what hurt you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to let go of what hurt you. Not forget it, but move forward from it.
I want to say this really quickly because I recently went through this back in the last year. It's okay to have a shift in your identity. It's okay to change.
Yeah.
For the longest time, you may be known for certain things, certain patterns, certain people you hang around. But it's okay to change that, and it's never too late. I hang around a lot of musicians, hang around a lot of barbers that are classified by certain things, but they're in the same spot because they're with the same people.
Yeah.
You know, and I elevate because I'm with different people. If you are the smartest person in your circle, you need to run.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Immediately.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, bro. Being around people in a grief stage that can't help you grieve it's gonna make it worse. It's gonna make it worse.
Yeah, bro.
But even like talking about pain, like I think regardless, you're gonna have to experience pain. At any point, any stage of life, anything you're trying to ascend to, you're gonna have to deal with pain. But for me, for instance, right, I'm working out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's gonna hurt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm getting stronger though.
Yeah.
But even when I wasn't working out, when I was sitting editing for hours or not eating or pretty much feeding my flesh or things of that nature, I'm still hurting myself either or.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you either putting yourself through pain to make yourself stronger or to actually, like, you know what I'm saying, weaken yourself?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's going to come up to whether you're getting stronger or whether you're weakening yourself. but pain is always going to be the catalyst of that.
Right.
Absolutely.
The purpose of pain is to make you stronger. God not gonna put you something and expect you to do the exact same thing you've been doing for the past year. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You gotta elevate.
Yeah, I think that there's a purpose to the pain. That God leaves the decision up to you.
He does.
Yeah,
Whether or not you're gonna trust him with your heart. Because like Mike said, we had a conversation maybe a couple months ago. And I was saying that so many people feel like they were dealt bad hands. That they were just dealt a bad hand in life. And my advice to anybody who feels like they have been dealt a bad hand is don't allow your bad hand to become a bad heart.
Right.
Don't allow, just because you were dealt a bad dad or just because you were dealt some pain or some trauma, don't allow that to consume your heart. Don't allow your heart to become stony and hard. I know it hurts. I know it's not easy. Because pain is never easy. Let's be real. Pain ain't easy. Going through stuff ain't easy. I remember what it was like when my dad died. I remember the months where I was in the house. I ain't go nowhere. I was just in the house, just depressed and hurting because I had felt betrayed by God. But I think that we have to get to the place to where we're like Job, that though he slay me, yet will I still trust him. Though it hurts now, I still have faith that he who began a good work in me is faithful to complete it. And I think that if we don't get to a place to where we come to God with our pain and also other people, you can't get through pain alone.
You can't.
Genesis, God says that it is not good for man to be alone.
Right.
And so it's like you cannot overcome this thing by yourself.
You can't.
Scripture says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Which means that, number one, you have to go to God with your problems. But you also have to overcome your fear of not sharing your issues with someone else. The only way you find healing, the only way you find victory in defeating pain is by giving the word of your testimony, sharing what you have went through, sharing what you have experienced. And I think that is a vital element of actually understanding your pain.
Yeah, and knowing the things that you went through, like as far as like whether it's hard work or whether it's like the thing that you really like was broken down to your lowest level, that's the moment that really shapes your life. Really. You know what I'm saying? Like, think of just life. Our moms had to go through pain to give life.
Us here.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at that where it's like anything that I had to work the hardest for is the one I value the most. That's the one you cling to the most. Like, you know what they say, like nothing's like a mother's love. Because she's the one that had to really put her life on the line to give life.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing like a mother's love. So that's why when they say, like, even like certain animals where it's like when the moms with her cubs, like it's like another level they get to just to protect their babies type of thing. Because they know what they went through to push that out. So I think for me, it's just like people need to just understand that pain isn't in vain. Unless you.
That's big though, because a lot of people feel like they're going through things for no reason.
Absolutely.
That's just mind-boggling for me because like they don't understand that there are seasons, there are literally chapters of your life. To get to the next chapter, you gotta flip some pages, bro. Some things gotta change, man. Your scenery has to change, your people have to change, your attitudes gotta change, your humility's gotta change, and like you said last podcast, you gotta be moldable. If you're not moldable, you just can't change, bro.
Your ways.
But
that's dangerous.
When both of y'all said that, it brought me back to when we talked about Gethsemane. The first viral reel. When we talked about Gethsemane, right? Like you have to crush the olive to get the oil. You have to press that thing to get the oil. And so we think that the pressing and the crushing is God hurting us. But really, he's trying to pull greatness out of you. He's trying to pull destiny out of you. He's trying to pull anointing out of you. And he uses pain as the means for that. He uses pain as a means to push that thing out of you. The same way that a mother pushes to give life and presses to give life. It's the same thing that God does. He pushes and presses on us so that we can produce something that we would never be able to produce. My most powerful messages come from my greatest traumas. The hurt that I felt from my dad, the not knowing who I was, turned into a message on identity that I've preached multiple different times, right? So it's like, if you allow your pain to not be used. If you are selfish with your pain.
Yeah.
Oh God, I just said something and it went over so many people's head.
Yeah.
We have become so selfish with our pains.
You better tell somebody your testimony, man.
It's not just for us.
Your pain is meant for you to help other people through.
Yeah.
I know it hurts.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting what you went through.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I've been there. I know.
Facts.
I know.
You're gonna take some L's. Bro.
You talk about pain. I know.
L's, bro.
The people that you admire the most probably went through the most hell.
Oh yeah.
You know, so they see heaven now, but they don't know it was the hell they had to get through to get to that heaven.
Man, it scares me when I see people that are a bit too successful.
Yeah.
Like at least that what they're showing. Like it makes me a bit nervous. I'm like, yeah, you can crash at any point now.
Yeah.
And it makes me a bit nervous, like, and not God rest his soul, but King Von, bro, he was on the top of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, making really good music.
Yeah.
I don't listen to much of it, but I know he was making really good music from what I heard. But what, 3 months later, he got raided. I'm like, dang, bro, like, you really got to be careful.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. But I want to go back to the pain. Like, as a musician, I've gotten kicked off a few gigs here and there. I've gotten replaced here and there. I've been told no here and there, but I didn't allow those no's and those goodbyes to mute my gift that I know God gave me to put out. Yeah. You know, I take those L's and I go home and just practice, bro. Yeah. That's all you can do. Practice your craft. Practice and mold yourself on what you need to. But yeah, don't allow your bad hand to create a villain type narrative for you. Yeah. You know, when you're meant to be a Christian, that's not Christ-like. Yeah.
But like I think, like I say, sometimes like I told you, turning pain into purpose, it's like if I didn't go through that pain, I still would probably be lost.
You'd be the same person.
I probably wouldn't change. I would probably be like, well, life is just smooth sailing, you know what I'm saying? And I probably wouldn't even be able to connect to people like I connect to. Like even your audience, you talk about your pain and millions of people see that like, I can relate to that. Yeah. Just think of movies, like we all watch movies. Do we want to see a movie where the protagonist goes through nothing? No.
Yeah,
he just skates through the whole film with no type of like conflict.
Issues. Yeah.
John Wick just came out. I like seeing John Wick, you know what I'm saying, kill a bunch of people. I don't want him to be like, I'm just walk through the movie and be like, all right, unfazed, untouched. Yeah. No, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we go through, you know what I'm saying, we go through mountains and our valleys and things like that.
It also goes back to being careful what you ask for too, because you can easily ask for what's not meant for you. God give it to you anyway, just for you to see that it's not meant for you. Yeah. That's bad. That's too much wasted time. You need to align your will with God's will. That's the easiest route. That's what I did. That's what I did. You literally need to surrender your plans over to God and allow him to dictate how you go about that. It's dangerous when you try to plan everything out on your own. Yeah. And then wonder why you can't get nowhere.
I had to get out of that mindset.
Because if God did not ordain you to go somewhere and you still plan to go there, it's not gonna work. Yeah. Just stop. Just ask him what his will is for your life and walk in that purpose. Yeah.
I want to piggyback off of what Dimitri said. Because I came to that same realization. That like if my dad never passed, I would have never been who I was. That's exactly if my dad would have never passed, I wouldn't be here. I would have been complete. I had hoop dreams. Like quite literally, I had hoop dreams. I was 6, 7, and my dad gave me this hoop dream until I was 11, 12. Like I remember being pissed off one day. Yeah. And this sort of piggybacks to our last conversation about identity. I remember being pissed off one day and just like I couldn't make a shot to save my life. Like, bro, I couldn't make a shot at all. And I was like, boom. My last shot, I threw the ball and I went to the crib. And my dad was like, what are you doing? Get back out here and shoot this shot. You're not going in the crib until you make 50. And I'm like, good. 50.
Imagine he said in a row.
Oh, no, it would have been a wrap.
Hey, he still be out there shooting shots. He's like 15 years later, bro.
And it was like, for me, I was like, bro, no, I'm trash. I don't want to do this no more. Like, I literally said those words. And he goes, yeah, you're not trash. You're a China. And Chinas don't quit. Yeah. My father instilled identity in me. And I think that even in moments of pain, our Father instills identity in us. That he uses that pain. He uses that hurt. He uses that trauma to formulate us into who he has created us to be. He uses that. You wouldn't be who you are if you didn't go through that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be who you are if you didn't experience that. I know it sucked.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear.
Right.
I know it hurt like hell.
Yeah.
But you didn't go through it for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
He's using it to create you into who he has called you to be. But if you get so fixated on the hurt that you won't go to get healed, you will never experience who he has called you to be.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's our time like?
Where we at, Jaden? 25.
Yeah, it's time to.
It's about time to wrap it up.
No, that was a good close. Though.
That was a good close.
I said, whoo.
All right, fam. If you enjoyed this episode, I want you to like, share, and subscribe on this podcast. I had a blast filming with Dimitri and Mike today. It was very, very fun. So, hey, what I need you to do is I need you to like, share, subscribe on this video. If you're on Apple or Spotify, leave us a review, leave us a rate. I would love to hear your thoughts. I read every single comment. And so I love you guys. I'll see y'all in the next episode. All right, y'all. Peace.